upgrading a self-image and subconscious patterns running their business. No other than Mr. Joel Mccleoud. Welcome, Mr. Joel on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yes, I am Joel Mccleoud. I'm from the United Kingdom. I live in a place called Manchester. You might know it from the football team, Manchester United and Manchester City. And I was mentored by a man that played a big part in the film. The Secret is called Bob Proctor. And I went through one of his mentorships. Before it, I never had money, never knew anything about business. I started learning about these universal principles in our subconscious mind. 5.5 months later, I built an online fitness company, making £18,000 a month. And I was so amazed at the results in my life that I decided to go and work with Bob Proctor himself. And now I'm top 1% of Bob Proctor's consultants worldwide. And I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Joel. Thank you. And today let's talk about the law of vibration and its role in money and business growth. The title frames the starting point. It's something about business growth. Can you tell us about this? Go ahead, Mr. Joel.
What was the question? I didn't hear the question properly.
Yes, so the law of vibration and its role in money and business growth, what it's all about.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because we most human beings understand the law of gravity, right? So if I grab my pen and I drop the pen, it doesn't matter if you're black, you're white, you're yellow, you're brown, no matter what goes up must come down. That is a law of this universe. We could say God created it. We could say the universe created it. Something bigger than me and you and the people watching created the law of gravity. Okay, now there's other universal laws that exist. Okay, one of them is called the law of vibration. So that means that everything that you see, everything in this universe is constantly vibrating. Okay, so if I look at my hand, if you look at your hand, it's actually moving at that much of a high speed of vibration that your physical eyes cannot see it. Okay, now your body is in a vibration. Your body's in a vibration. Okay. So within the manifestation industry, you hear a lot about the law of attraction, but that's a secondary law. The primary law is the law of vibration because it's the vibration that your body's in that's going to dictate what you attract. So that's why you can find people that are very intelligent. They go to universities, they go to Harvard, they go to Oxford, they've got all of this knowledge, they're great at sales, they've gone to university and studied business, but they can't make more than $20,000 or £20,000 every single year. Okay. And then you get
Mhm.
other people, some people can't even read. They can't read books and they build multi-million pound businesses. Now, the reason for that is that there's two parts to the mind. We have the conscious mind and we have our subconscious mind. Now, our conscious mind is the part of the mind that school focuses on. So when we go to school, we gather information in our conscious mind, and the teacher says, if you remember enough information, you go into that room and you remember enough information, we're going to give you a passing grade. You're going to pass. But what I've found from coaching dozens of entrepreneurs, business owners, and consultants is that just because you know something, it doesn't mean that you're going to do it. Let's take, for example, a person that's overweight, they're obese, and they want to lose weight. They know they should go to the gym. They know they should stop eating the foods that are not benefiting them. They know that they've got to do 10,000 steps a day, but they don't do it. It's because our conscious mind is in control of what we do, but it's our subconscious mind that's in control of what we do, our conscious mind is in control of what we know, but our subconscious mind is in control of what we do with what we know, right? So going back to the law of vibration, Our conscious mind is our thinking mind. So we all have that voice that's constantly going around our mind. We can't stop thinking, but it's with our conscious mind that we think. Well, the subconscious mind is different. The subconscious mind doesn't think, the subconscious mind feels. So the subconscious mind is known as our emotional mind. Okay. Now, feeling is a word that we made up to describe conscious awareness of vibration. So our subconscious mind is in control of our vibration. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Mr.
Okay.
Joel, makes sense. Metaphysics with a practical finance. In a simple terms, how do you define the law of vibration and why is it fundamental force in creating wealth?
Well, the way I explain the law of vibration is that your subconscious mind controls your vibration and your vibration's in control of what you attract. So if we feel poor, if we feel unhappy, if we feel that money's hard to earn, feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. So when someone turns around and goes, I feel like money is hard to earn, what they are really saying is that they are on a vibration that money is hard to earn. Money's very easy to earn if you believe it, but it all comes down to our belief system. So if our subconscious mind believes that money is the root of all evil, money is hard to earn, we're not supposed to be wealthy, no one around us is wealthy, then that becomes true in our experience. So I think it's of incredible importance for everybody watching this to change their subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind controls our vibration and our vibration controls what we attract. So if we go and ask the next 100 people what did they earn in 2025, and then ask them what they earned in 2024 and 2023, we're going to find with 97 out of every 100 people, they earn the same amount every single year. But throughout those years, they read more books, they gathered more information. Okay. But gathering information is not going to get you the results. Changing your vibration is. And there's only two ways to actually change your vibration.
Many people separate spiritual principles from business strategy. Why do you believe the law of vibration is the critical missing link between intention and tangible financial results?
Because it doesn't matter how much information you've got, if you are not on the vibration, if you are not on the frequency of what you want, it doesn't matter what strategy you've got. It doesn't matter how hard you work. You can only attract what you're in harmony with. Okay. So let's say, for example, we're doing an incredible podcast. I'm super grateful that you brought me on here. When we set up this podcast, you sent me a link to join this podcast. Another word for that link is a frequency, like phone numbers. It's a frequency. So if you would have sent me the wrong podcast link, in other words, the wrong vibration, that podcast link is just a vibration. If you would have sent me the wrong podcast vibration, the wrong podcast link, it doesn't matter how many times I click that link, how hard I press my mouse or my laptop, I am never going to get on this podcast because it's the wrong frequency. So a lot of people believe that you've got to work harder to earn more money. No, you don't. What you've got to do is you've got to tune into the vibration of what you want. Vibration and frequencies. Albert Einstein said it. He said, everything in this universe is energy, and that's all there is to it. If you match the frequency of the reality that you want, you cannot help but get that reality. He said, this is not philosophy, this is physics, this is science. So we're dealing with frequencies and vibrations. If you are not a vibrational match for the life that you want, it's not going to happen.
You need to be aligned, people, aligned with the vibration. What most common misconception about applying vibrational principles to business, and how does your book correct it? Or the
That's a
idea?
great, yeah, that's a great question. I think I think a lot of people think that they can just, sit in bed and visualize and money and wealth will just fall in your lap. But that is not true. I think that's the biggest misconception. I just think about it and it just appears in my world. No, we have to take action as well. But our body is just an instrument of the mind. Whatever our mind tells the body to do, the body will do. So I'm very big on action as well. I enjoy the book The Secret. Unfortunately, a lot of people that was on The Secret didn't really know what they was talking about. My mentor, Bob Proctor, played a huge part in The Secret. And the vibration that your body is in, it doesn't just dictate what you attract, it also dictates your actions as well. So I think a lot of people, and the misconception is, I just change my vibration and things come to me. No, that isn't true. Our thoughts do attract things to us, but it's through our actions that we receive it. So we can't just visualize having a successful business and then we wake up in the morning and we have a successful business. No, we've got to visualize it. We've got to get onto the same frequency as it. And then we've got to take action. You've got to ask people to buy your product or service. You've got to know your product better than anyone else. You've got to get in front of people. There's only two roles in business, really. One is sales, and one is helping the people that do the sales. So I think a lot of people get caught up on social media with marketing and branding and logos. But if you want to make more money in your business, you've got to get on calls or you have got to ask people to buy your product. So I think the biggest misconception is action, in my opinion.
Action indeed. People, you need to act now and stop procrastinating. For a skeptical entrepreneur who says, I need actions, not vibes, what is the undeniable action oriented step they can take to prove this principle works in their business?
Well, first of all, you've got to know exactly what you want. I come across so many people that say, I want more money. Okay, well, you walk outside to the shop, you find $1 on the floor, that's more money. So we've got to be really specific, right? If we bargain with life for a penny, then life's going to give us a penny. So there's magic in thinking big. We've got to know what we want, and then we've really, really got to want it. Now, the only way to change your vibration, the only reliable way to change your subconscious mind, that's what controls your vibration, is through repetition. Okay. So when you came into this world, you didn't have a conscious mind. Your subconscious mind was wide open, and your subconscious mind cannot reject. That's why you speak the language that you speak. That's why you like the foods that you like. Your name is not you. That's not you. That's just an idea that your parents planted in your subconscious mind through repetition. Okay, so it takes a lot of repetition. So the action step that I would recommend is you write down the exact amount of money that you want. It's got to be specific. Write down what you want on a card in present tense. Our subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is a lie. So if you tell yourself a lie over and over again, you're eventually going to start to believe that it's true. And there's a great quote, believe, and our belief will create the fact. Now, no matter what religion you are, if we look down at all the wise men thousands of years ago, Buddha, Jesus, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, all these wise men and these prophets, they disagreed on pretty much everything in life apart from one thing. And that one thing is that we become what we think about. We literally become what we think about. Why? Because every thought that you have is a frequency. So this is what Albert Einstein meant when he said, match the frequency of the reality that you want. You've got to think like the person you want to be, feel like the person you want to be, and start acting like the person that you want to be. So what I do with my clients, this is lesson one. I take people through a marvelous program that changed my life called Thinking into Results. Lesson one is all about finding out what you want and writing it in present tense on a goal card. Now, some people might say, well, How me writing something on a goal card and looking at it, how is that going to manifest? Well, we become what we think about. What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about problems? Are you thinking about poverty? Are you thinking about how you're going to have money next month? What we think about, we attract. So we've got to start thinking about what we want. We're rather doing two things in life. We're thinking about what we want, or we're thinking about what we don't want. Now, a goal card, it stops your habitual way of thinking. You have a programming. When you wake up in the morning, you don't even think about it. You just move into a routine. We are creatures of habit. Now, if you was brought up like me in a place where there was no money, money is hard to earn, you got told all of these negative things about money, then you're going to have a programming. And I always, make the joke that the people that built the iPhone, they done an amazing job at programming the iPhone. The people that programmed us had no clue what they was doing. And we carry that programming all through our lives. So when we write down in present tense what we want on a card and we carry it with us everywhere that we go, we are destructing that old paradigm, that old programming. And if you write down what you want on a card and you're looking at it all the time, it's always in your pocket, you read it, we become what we think about. So if you do that and you're thinking about your goal, then what are you going to become? You're going to become your goal. Now, what's wrong with 97% of the population is they don't have a goal. They don't have a goal. Go and ask the next 100 people what the goal is. They're probably going to say, "What do you mean?" And if you ask them same people, do they have their goal in writing where they can see it every single day? The odds are they're not. And that's why 1% of the population earn 96% of the money. 1% of the population earn 96% of the money because they control their thinking. Our thinking produces feelings, those feelings produce actions, and those actions produce results. So, what we've got to understand is that you do not have to change your industry, you do not have to change your business, your spouse, your children. They're your results. If you want to change your results, the only thing you've got to change is you. And you've got to realize that your outside world is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So if you want to change the outside world, you've got to change what's going on within. I hope that helps.
Yes, definitely, Mr. Joel. As a business mentor, what are your short term and long term goals?
I have one goal, and my goal is to create multiple six figures in my business. And it's not really about the money. The money's a yardstick. It just shows you how much service you're giving. So the people that earn the most money in the world, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, they're just earning more because they're serving more people. I mean, everywhere you look, there's Amazon parcels being delivered at every single house in the world, most likely, right? So yeah, I don't really have short-term or long-term goals. I have one big goal and I center my thoughts around that.
Well, good luck. Good luck for your business. Then, Mr.
Thank you.
Joel, what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
That's a great question. I think you've just got to have the courage to sit down, get a pen, and write down what it is that you really want. If you do that, your life will never be the same again. You see, most people don't write what they really want because they think that's what I want, but I don't know how to get it. If you knew how to get it, you would already have it. So when you're going after that dream, you're not going to know how. That's the exciting part. The exciting part is finding out how. And I love what Steve Jobs said. He said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards." So I think you've got to take a pen and you've got to write out exactly what it is that you want. And then you've got to get moving in that direction. You've got to take action towards your goals every single day. And if you want to earn more money, you need to stop asking yourself, how do I earn more money? And you need to start asking yourself, how can I be of more service? Because the money that you earn is in direct ratio to the service that you render. And study. I'm up every single morning and I am studying. I'm studying myself. Because if I want to understand something, understanding can only come from one place, knowledge. And knowledge can only come through studying. If I want to learn how to fix an engine, I'm going to have to go and study. I'm rather going to have to buy a book on mechanics, or I'm going to have to go and find a mechanic and I'm going to have to study. And that knowledge turns into understanding. That understanding turns into faith on a subconscious level. One book that changed my life is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I think it's the best book that's ever been wrote. I read it pretty much every single day. Changed my life.
Yes, it's a classic indeed, and thank you for that advice as well as your recommended book, Mr. Joel. And tell us, how can a business owner know if their marketing, their team, or even their product line is out of vibrational alignment with their core purpose?
That's a great question. I don't think they necessarily. I think that's secondary. I think the correct question is: are they in vibrational alignment with what they want? Because look, you can get two people that grew up in the same place. They're in the same industry. Let's take two salespeople. Two salespeople. They both grew up in, I don't know, Atlanta, both of them. Both had same upbringings, both become salespeople selling insurance. They both get the same sales script. They both get 100 people to ring every day. One of them makes $100,000 every single month, and the other one can't even make 5,000. So it's not about doing certain things. It's about doing certain things in a certain way. And that's just making sure that you're aligned with the outcome that you want. So you've got to be a vibrational match. You've got to match the frequency of the type of business that you want. One thing that I would really recommend is you write down in present tense the way you want your business to be as if it has already been done. So you would get a pen and you would write out, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am, making six figures every single month. I attract this type of client. My clients get this type of results. I show up in my business with authority. I'm passionate and I just attract clients with ease. And money just comes to me from unexpected and expected ways. Clients are pre-sold before they even speak to me. You write down how you want your business to be. Then you make a recording and you listen to it at least 4 times a day. Now, someone might say, well, that's illogical. How does that work? Doesn't make sense. It makes a lot of sense when you understand how your subconscious mind works. Our subconscious mind controls our vibration, and our subconscious mind cannot reject. It will accept anything that is impressed upon it. So if we keep repeating a lie to our subconscious mind over and over again, our subconscious mind accepts it. Once it accepts it, it alters our vibration. That vibration changes our actions and it also sets up a magnetic attraction as well. And that's when your goal just starts moving towards you and you start moving towards your goal. It works like absolute magic.
A magic indeed. And Mr. Joel, to wrap up our discussion for today, ultimately, what is the deepest internal change you hope occurs in a reader beyond their bank account once they truly embody these principles?
That's a great question. I think it's the inner peace. It's the inner peace to know that you are the master of your fate and you are the captain of your soul. And if you really want something, that dream in your mind is not a fantasy. It's a real place, but you've got to match the frequency of it and just know that you are God's highest form of creation. If you can hold it in your mind, then you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You might not know how to. I can help you with that, but you can do it. No one knows what you're capable of doing No one knows what you're capable of earning. You're God's highest form of creation. And my job is to show you how powerful you really are.
Yes, definitely. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Joel. And can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, for sure. So I put out a lot of great stuff on YouTube. That's where you'll mainly find me on YouTube. It's at it's Joel Mccleoud, or you can just type in Joel Mccleoud into YouTube. I'm posting on there maybe 2 to 3 times a week. And also, if you want, you can come and join me in January. I've got a free 5-day workshop. It's going to be live, and it's called the Magnetic Business Launchpad. And it's going to be a free training. It's completely free, and I'm going to show you how to attract more cash flow and more clients without the force, without burning out, and without the overworking. If you want to get in on that, the link's in the description of my YouTube video. I'm sure Daniel will put it in here as well. Yeah, and if I can support any way, my messages are always open. I love helping.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Joel because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering advocacy will rise. So, Mr. Joel, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
Mordicon people, see you soon.